Hi, welcome to Family Recipe. My name's Anne, and today I have with me my sister, Elizabeth Jane, and we're making for you a tasty, no-bake Canadian treat,
Nanaimo Bars.
My sister is here visiting for the weekend with her family, and she brought one of her family recipes to share. Today we're making no-bake Nanaimo Bars. Can you tell us a little about why you want to do that recipe?
Yeah, they're one of my husband's favorite desserts. I still remember when we got engaged, we flew out to Saskatchewan to meet his family, and my now mother-in-law took me out for coffee, and I remember seeing in the bakery case these delicious looking desserts, and I said, "What are those?" And she said, "You're kidding. You've never had a Nanaimo bar? I'm going to buy you one." So now I make Nanaimo bars every year on my husband's birthday and sometimes for other family gatherings.
So Elizabeth Jane brought Nanaimo Bars to our parents' house for Christmas a few years ago, and from what I remember, it's a 3-layer no-bake dessert. We've got like a cookie base, a custardy pudding kind of filling, and then chocolate on top?
Chocolate ganache topping.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna start with the base layer, like the cookie layer. So in this bowl, I have 5 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and I always use dark chocolate cocoa powder now. I had it one time at my friend's bridal shower. One of our mutual friends made these cupcakes, and they were the best chocolate cupcakes I've ever had. So I only buy dark chocolate powder now. Quick tip, they'll be extra rich. A whole stick of softened butter, so that's a 1/2 cup of butter, and then a 1/4 cup of white sugar. We put that mixture in a double boiler on the stove, and Elizabeth Jane's just stirring it for me while it melts. And a double boiler is simply a heat-proof bowl, so we've got a big glass bowl over a pot of simmering water, and you just have to make sure that the bottom of the bowl doesn't actually touch the water so that the ingredients inside won't burn. But other than that, it's nothing fancy. So we're just gonna stir that around until it melts, and then we're gonna add all kinds of good stuff.
Once all of this is melted down and it's a beautiful, smooth consistency, we're going to add 1 lightly beaten egg. And we're going to stir that for about 2 to 3 minutes until it thickens a bit and the egg is cooked through. Okay, so we switched over to a whisk to make sure that it was really mixed in well, all the butter fat. And I think you can see that it's this beautiful thick consistency. You'll even be able to feel it when you're stirring, start to thicken up.
Elizabeth Jane's taking the chocolate mixture off the heat, and it smells awesome. I can't wait to try that.
You can smell the special dark cocoa powder.
Yeah,
It's
extra
different.
rich. So to that we're gonna add all the cookie crumbs. So in my food processor, I ground up about 10 full sheets of graham crackers, which is about 1 3/4 cup. I also added a 1/2 cup of almonds, which is optional. You could do any nut that you want, really. Walnuts, pecans, or just omit it if you're allergic or you just don't like the taste.
Or peanuts if you want to do a chocolate peanut butter version.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Okay, we'll do that next time. And then a cup of sweetened shredded coconut flakes.
I'm mixing the ingredients together with my hands. Once the spatula is kind of done all it can do, this can really help.
So we have an 8x8 pan here that we've greased, and as soon as she's done mixing, we're just gonna kind of press it in to make that base layer.
Holding together.
Yeah. Oh,
That's just about right.
I would totally eat this on its own. Just by the spoonful.
If you had extra, you could sprinkle it over ice cream.
Yes, you could.
And there's enough butter. This isn't sticking to my fingers. And look, you got a nice layer there.
So we're gonna stick this in the fridge for a few minutes just to start to set. So for the custard layer, we have another stick of butter. So that's another 1/2 cup that's been softened to room temperature. I have about 2 tablespoons of instant vanilla pudding, and you've used, what's it called?
Custard powder,
Okay.
which you can find either in the international aisle of your grocery store, probably under the British section, or at a specialty food store.
Okay, but either way yields delicious results, I'm told.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then the last thing I'm gonna add to this bowl are 3 tablespoons of heavy cream. Nothing wrong with that. And then Elizabeth Jane's gonna whisk that up for me until it's smooth. And then we're gonna add in 2 cups of powdered sugar to make the custardy filling. After tasting this pudding filling, I would describe it as vanilla pudding flavored buttercream frosting, which is probably the best thing I've tried in a long time. It's fantastic. So Elizabeth Jane spread out all the frosting beautifully, and we're gonna—
It doesn't have to be perfect.
it tastes perfect. We're gonna put this in the fridge, or you said maybe even the freezer.
I do it in the freezer. When you're on a time crunch, freezer sets it up just as easily.
We're in a time crunch. You can hear all the kids in the background, and they're ready for some Nanaimo bars. For the final layer, we're making a simple chocolate ganache. So I have 4 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate chips. You could also use like a bar of baking chocolate and chop it up, and 2 teaspoons of butter. I'm popping it in the microwave for about 30-second increments, and then I'll stir it around in between each one until it's melted and smooth. I melted the chocolate chips and the butter in the microwave, and as you saw, I actually kept it in a little too long, but to salvage that, I added about like 1 or 2 teaspoons of heavy cream, stirred it up, and it's nice and glossy and smooth again, so all is well with the chocolate ganache. So we're going to add that on top, right? Layer number 3.
The freezer firmed this up perfectly. The butter chills and holds it together.
It looks so good.
And this is going to be a really thin layer. It's just going to add a glossy top.
Oh, okay. Do you want to do the honors of spreading that out? Now, we were talking about variations on flavors too. So we've got like a classic vanilla one here, but how else can you change it up?
So the first batch I ever made was a mint cream in the middle, a peppermint cream, where you just add a little bit of peppermint extract, and if you wanted to add green food coloring to sort of hint at what it is. I've also made peanut butter, which is delicious.
Good. I think you made Nutella the time you brought them to our house for Christmas.
That's totally possible.
Which I love.
And then my husband's, one of his favorite flavors is pistachio cream in the middle. So lots of things you can do.
You can even do pistachios in the crust.
Absolutely,
cool.
Right. With the nuts, you can omit the nuts. And my husband also has a gluten allergy, and so you can use any crunchy gluten-free cookie to grind it up, and voila.
Yeah, the rest is gluten-free, right? Perfect. Okay, and the only bad thing is we have to wait for this to set. So we're gonna put this back in the fridge for a few more minutes, and we're gonna have it for dessert tonight, right?
Okay.
Yay! Okay, well thank you for joining me on Family Recipe. It's awesome to have you in my kitchen. Yay! All right, thank you everyone for joining us in our kitchen. I hope you try making these Nanaimo bars, and I'll see you next time.
For the full recipe, check the description box below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen.